Hello, today I would like to show you quite interesting device that I purchased for my lab. The model number is a Teleview TPG430B. As you can see, I cannot find anywhere the model number, but you can see that in a software. As a name implies, Teleview, you can expect that this is going to be something related to a television, and that's the case. This is a test signal generator. You can use this device to stream a video files encapsulated in a DVB AC format, which is using on that layer a coaxial cable and encode a video in a stream with a MPEG-2 encoder. So it is like a digital video stream. To be honest, I have absolutely no use for that, but there is one very interesting thing about this device. It is actually a fully operational PC computer with a Windows 2000 installed inside, and it just makes a great industrial computer for my use. I'm going to have it on my bench. I'm going to use it for programming microcontrollers, and it has that very nice rugged industrial form factor. On the back we've got a USB port, so we've got all standard ports that you would expect to find on a regular computer. So you can plug a tiny keyboard with a touchpad and use this as a computer. As you can see, it looks like an oscilloscope, but those ports are output, they are not an input. Looks like they were making a different version that can have a RF encoder. I believe if you've got the RF output, then it's going to be modulated that video, and maybe you can plug it directly to a TV if you need to test it. Let's rotate it and take a look at the back. This is back. As you can see, we've got slots where you can put a PCI cards. We've got a main card that you are going to see after we are going open. I believe this is the one that is processing the video and the encoding. That looks like a standard ATX motherboard. We've got all regular ports. And let me open this so we can actually see inside. If we take a closer look, we are going to see a standard ATX motherboard. The cooler, by the look itself, looks like something around a Pentium 4 CPU. I can see right now that some of the capacitors are belched. I believe that was the reason why this device was discarded, because those capacitors can lead to being unstable, and I would expect that this is the reason why the device was thrown away. That one is clearly bulged, that one too. The lid is piercing from the pressure. We can see that we can expand the memory. This is the card, the heart of the system. We can see the two outputs going through this RF cable that are plugged to the card, and they are being routed like those two cables. They are being routed to the front panel. Those two BNCs are being routed from the card. We've got a hard disk drive on the IDE interface. We've got a power supply that looks like a standard ATX that was just stripped from the enclosure. We've got a Asus motherboard, and we've got the AGP port that is not used. 3 PCI slots, and looks like a standard computer. To be honest, that was a crazy expensive device, and it's looking like it was rigged by me using off-shelf components. Here we can see the display driver, and we've got a VGA cable being plugged into the board that's driving the display, and the VGA cable is located here, and it's being routed under the motherboard and soldered directly into that connector. Underneath the motherboard, they solder directly to the motherboard, so you have to make sure you are not going to plug the external screen. Lots of fans for cooling and keeping the system nice. That one is not making nice noise. I believe it requires the bearing is worn. I'm going to replace it when I get the correct measurements. But first, let's take out the motherboard and take care of the capacitors. We definitely need to remove the card, the main card. This is how it looks like. Let's try to undo the motherboard. The motherboard should be free, and we can take it out. Here you can see the VGA cable from the screen being soldered directly to the PCB. So it is clearly a small volume production made for a very specific reason. This is not something that was the amount of devices were justifying to create a custom PCB, and they were using off-shelf components. And let's start from swapping our bad capacitors. That capacitor clearly needs a replacement. Here is one of the broken cap. and we can clearly see it's being bulged. Low ESR. I'm going to put a 1000 microfarad, and that's going to be okay. Negative that side. That one looks bad, being bulged. Same story, 6.3 volt, 820. I'm going to put a 1000 negative on that side. That one, same story. That one also looks bad. All capacitors replaced. We can put everything back. Looks like I've got everything like it should be. All capacitors are replaced. All cables are plugged in place. And we can try to power it on and see whether it's going to boot up or not. And the moment of truth. And we've got the motherboard. Looks like it's booting up. Looks like we've got a success. And we can see that the software started and it's responding to our key press. So right now it's playing, it's stopped. We can navigate using the dial, it's changing the values. We've got, as you can see, those soft keys are responding like a tab. Looks like a tab key. And looks like it's working. Let's try to plug in a mouse and let's see what's going on. I've got mouse and the USB receiver. I'm going to plug it in. And the mouse is moving. We can close the software. The menu starts, as you can see, it's being hidden. Let's take a look at the system properties. So we've got a 256 megabyte of RAM. We've got a Pentium 4, and everything looks perfect. Except of the software for the card, I cannot see anything installed. Let's check the documents. That looks like here we've got some recordings, but we are unable to play them. Most likely we are missing some sort of encoder. And the hard disk drive is almost full. But as you can see, I've got something that I was wanted. And we've got a regular PC in a really nice industrial form factor. Let's take a look. Looks like it was trying to open a paint, but that was not a paint. This is paint. So everything is looking great. Yeah, looks like we've got a good fix. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you find it interesting. See you next time and bye bye.